Hello, fellow Shea Loss participants. My name is Kingsley Martin, and for those of you who may or may not know of me, I have a YouTube channel called I Apple the World, and I am posting this to that channel because I don't really post videos to Facebook because I use the YouTube app and it's more convenient based on my schedule. I sort of have to just pop out videos right now and move on. But I am also a participant in the Shea Loss 5-week Chubby Summer Shape Up Challenge. And I've watched several of the videos on this group. One in particular I saw in the early part of July by a lady by the name of Toni L. And as you can tell from the title, this is a response to her. But really it applies to everyone overall. So, Toni, specifically towards you, I noticed that you were talking, and what I associated to you through was the fact that you were talking about how you had some issues with your eyes, and I have issues with my eyes. I don't really take my glasses off that often. It's really more of a thing for, this is more of a cosmetic thing, because I do have a rather distinctive challenge with one of my eyes. I don't wear these normally when I'm like in the everyday world, but I do when I do my videos just because I want people to focus on the content and quality of the content, not necessarily this. And sometimes it is more difficult for people to adjust. But if you can look at my eyes, you can see that, first off, I have glazed over sort of eyes. It's not because I'm high, and I wish sometimes I was. No. But I have a couple of eye conditions. One called glaucoma, and that is the clouding of the eye. It's like a buildup of fluid in the eyes. And so I also have cataracts and nystagmus, which is why my eye here jumps around. This eye is actually dead, and it is a result of a botched surgery in the early 2000s. And I won't get into that. People keep telling me I should have sued the surgeon who performed or the specialist, quote unquote, that performed the surgery, but really I hold him responsible, or I really hold myself responsible for making a choice, because I should have done more research. I went to the first guy who said, well, you won't be any worse off if you don't do it. And I used to have sight in this eye, and I developed I guess a floater of sorts, and it's resulted in this sort of red haloed with light vessel rotating around in my sight view here. And so I went to a surgeon, and he told me I wouldn't be worse off than I was because it wouldn't change anything. I had the surgery, and 6 months after the surgery, it seemed successful at first, and 6 months after I had the surgery, my retina detached, but it took them 2 months to discover it, and by the time they went in to try and reseal it and reconnect it, it didn't work. And without your retina, basically your eyeball shuts down. There's a thing in your eye called the ciliary cell, which is like an office manager. This is Site 101, by the way. At the conclusion of this, we'll have a test, and then you'll move on to Site 102. But I had a surgery, and the retina, the ciliary cell in my eye shut down, which is like the office manager. So it stopped producing fluid and went from a grape to a raisin. So my right eye is effectively dead. But it's neither here nor there. The reason I associated to was because of that sort of being able to say, okay, I have a camaraderie in a way. We both have our own sight challenges. There's people, everybody has challenges in some kind of capacity, though. It's not limited to your sight. And I noticed by looking at other videos, Toni, and at other people's posts, and specifically yours, we all have something that we offer. When preparing to do this video, 2 weeks overdue from when I said I was going to do it, I looked at your page a little bit, and it sounds like you have a lot of positive things and effort that you put into your life. I know you have a bucket list of doing walks in Ireland and such. You have a son that's close to getting married. You have a daughter that just is about to turn 16, and Looks like she's getting a nice red car. I don't know anything about cars, mind you, even though I own 2 of them. And I don't drive either, so there you go. I have people that work for me that I pay to drive me around when I have to go do things. And normally I usually just try and walk. I like to be fairly independent. But you have a lot of stuff going for you. You have a husband who's obviously pretty entertaining and funny. He can be very playful. So it sounds like you've got a lot of positive things going for you in your life. And I hope that you see, and maybe it helps sometimes for people to be told and sort of reminded that they're very fortunate. I mean, look at all the things you've got going on. You've got a dog. I don't know if that's a assistive dog or it's just your personal companion or whatever, but you have a dog, you have 2 kids, you have a husband you've been married to for 23 years. Congratulations on your anniversary. I mean, that is a feat I haven't accomplished, and I really wish I had. Sounds like you've been married since you were 19. I mean, that's outstanding. I've been through, 7 or 8 relationships trying to find someone. What is it, 7? Don't even want to count, it'll depress me. But you've found someone that you're sharing the world with who it sounds like you are still doing things with that are romantic, which is great. I mean, that's so much more than a lot of people have. And I don't know what the limitations may be on your side of outside of the challenges that come with, the I think it's toxoplasmosis. I don't remember the exact medical term you used. But whether there are slight limitations you may face, but you're obviously overcoming them. And usually weight loss comes, or weight issues come from a couple of things. I can tell you specifically in my case, mine comes from paying too much attention to the past and self-confidence issues. Because when I got depressed in the past, I felt bad about myself, I felt trapped in a situation, and I don't think you're in that situation, but I felt trapped in a situation and I used food as an escape. And I think a lot of people do that in different ways. But we're all lights. We have the ability to be an even brighter light. And you've got a lot to offer. Not only are you someone who happens to have a sight challenge, but you're also this person who's an example of a successful marriage of 23 years, with children and able to buy your daughter a car and determination. You work. I mean, there's so many people, and I specifically I'm going to speak about sight right now, or people who have obvious physical challenges like sight and hearing and mobility challenges. There are so many people in those cases that have a tendency to withdraw from the world and sort of sit back and just sort of wait out death, if that's that's unfortunate, and I'm sure you've heard stories of it or seen it. Everyone has in some kind of capacity, and it's very sad. I unfortunately come from a family that does have a lot of that issue, and it's not just sight related. Somewhere along the way in the line of my family's existence, they've gotten into a situation where they started to think less of themselves and accept mistreatment or that things will never get better. And once you accept that the future will never improve, then there is no future. Not only that, well, really that is such a huge part of what can cause a weight gain. And not really being taught about food properly. And I'm going to do another video about this sort of conversation because I think people get too caught up in the concept of diet. Diet might as well be a swear word now because it's so scary and intimidating and offensive to people and sounds like, the end of joy. So I'm going to do a whole other conversation on that. What I really want you to know, though, is you're a light. Everyone in this world, everyone in this group is a light, and you're a light in a way that you may not realize. And I reference this a lot in some of my daily cardio vlogs. I think I've just coined a phrase, cardio vlog. But you know, everyone's got something different to offer and a different perspective, and you can't let what's affected your family's history or what's happened to you in the past affect you now. You said you have you wanted to lose like 75 pounds. First off, you look like a very, very beautiful lady. I mean, that's great. You're very attractive. Even if you've got weight to lose, just imagine if you're attractive now, then you're going to be even more attractive, probably to yourself, because you're going to feel more confidence. It's going to show up in your face and in the way you carry yourself. And you can do it. I know you can do it. Everyone on this group can achieve their fitness goals. I can, everyone else, and I've been seeing success at it. But what it took was me, number one, not saying to myself that it has to happen overnight, because it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, it can, but what happens when you do something overnight is you tend to plummet afterwards because you've gone so hardcore. I equate it to, there was a TV show years ago where Bill Cosby, his Cosby Show, he talked to his son about taking tests. And his son would cram for tests the night before, and he would say, "Okay, I'm going to cram." He said, "I give it to you. You know, you can cram for tests, and you can sail by with one night of studying and get a 70 and move on. But you don't hold anything in your brain, and you're always taking off, landing. And what you have to do is reach an altitude and just sort of, cruise. And that goes the same with, I think, weight loss." This is, again, the video I'm going to get into later, but I just want to say, and it's going to be public, this video is being posted privately, and I'm just going to post it into the group and hope anybody who watches it, watches it. But my point is it just takes a balance. Don't starve yourself, but realize that working out it will give you, a lot of people get intimidated by working out before they even do it. And they go, "Oh God, I gotta work out." And I don't know if it's sweating or whatever. Some people are good about it. A lot of people are sort of almost disillusioned with working out in ways because they don't see results quickly. But results take time. They do. I mean, it's been 3 weeks in, and I've been buttoning these pants that I've talked about in my first video when I was first entering the Shea Loss 5-week challenge. But it's not really, it takes time. And I'm not doing it by starving myself or denying myself those rewards or those things that I enjoy. I think diets, like I said, is almost a swear word nowadays. And people using the word cheat, I think, is almost dangerous because it's almost counterproductive, in my opinion. I'm not insulting anyone who uses the word cheat, but just think of it like this. Cheating means that you're lying to yourself, and that's almost self-deprecating, and that's why I say just balance your world. Go take walks every night. If you can go work out and get in the gym and do, if you don't have money, then do exercises that don't involve money. Do cardio workouts. You don't have to have the weights to do the motions. They're part of the exercise is just the motion, and the more body you engage, the more your heart rate gets up. And cardio does burn calories. No matter what anybody tells you, there are certain methods of cardio that probably burn more than others, but you can do it. You are a light. It's within you to do whatever you want, whenever you want it. All it takes is realizing that you have a tremendous value to offer this world, Tony. It's like the things I've already said. You've got a unique perspective. You've got a sight challenge or a sight issue that you deal with on a daily basis that a lot of people take for granted. Just like people who have mobility issues have, any other kind of mobility issue, whether it be hearing or physical issue that they encounter, certainly that I encounter. And I don't think that, and I think people sometimes in the past, I've always thought people looked at me like I was, mildly, retarded, basically, because when I was younger, with my sight issue, I was a little more withdrawn. I was a little more, quiet and whatever, and people would pick on me. I got picked on a lot. But it didn't matter in the long run when I realized that I can't change how those people are going to behave. I'm going to go off and do what I have to do to be successful in my own life, and I've gone and done certain things to a certain level of success and then moved on to other things and whatever, but you have to realize it's within you. everything is within each of us to accomplish whatever we want. Like I said, you've got a side issue, but you bring a unique perspective. You can show people who happen to have side issues or any other kind of challenge that they or obstacle that they can associate with. And so, well, if Kingsley can do this with his severe side issue, then I should be able to do it, and I can, and I do every day. I do something to try and improve the quality of my health. And the same thing applies to you. And you're an additional example because you've been married for 23 years. You have 2 children. You have a successful marriage. By all standards, your marriage is successful. There's so much you have to offer the world. And as you reach your new levels of success, you've already succeeded in marriage and in having children and being a parent. Now, and you work, obviously, so you've reached a work success area. So now as you move into these fitness areas, you become this great example to a lot of people. And maybe not, in a global sense, but I always go back to the concept that I learned from Quantum Leap. Everything I know I learned from TV, right? Or is it Stewie? But either way, the lives you touch others. And those lives touch others. You can do a lot of good. And you are doing a lot of good right now. But you can do more. And that is by taking care of yourself and improving the quality of your life to where you build your self-confidence to that next level. I'm not talking about cocky, I'm talking about confident. But when you build your life to that next level, you're going to inspire people on this Shea Loss group, on your Facebook, at your work. In every capacity, they're going to go, wow, what is she doing that's, making her life work so well? Well, first off, you found the right person to share your life with. You raised your children to a place where they can go off and have relationships at 22. You have shown your children and your grandchildren to be how to have a successful relationship because you've been in one for 23 years. You're still having date nights or date days or whatever it was I saw from one of your posts. You're an example. You're a light. We all are. You don't have to have the exact same life as Toni in order to be a success. You just have to recognize what you offer to the world. If anybody posting videos on Shea Loss or YouTube or whatever, you're an example to the world. You're showing other people who are younger, if you're under 21 or whatever, you're showing that there's an effort out there you can put in, that you can go and do something unique and do something kind of special and be, worldwide. You can show that you can get up and do something, that you don't have to sit there and watch the world revolve around you, but you can be a part of the reason that the world revolves. And I just really wanted to say that in my sort of excessive expositional method of approaching things. I'm very theatrical. I did theater for years, and I have no legs, so my arms are all but if I did that, I would be dancing, and that would just be, odd. So, you want to dance? So, Toni, I hope that in some way you look at this. You're special, obviously, to me in a way because I posted this video as a response to something I saw you post. To a video you posted talking about it, connected with you, and it made me reach out and think, wow, this lady's doing something. You're taking an effort to improve the quality of your life, and that's an inspiration to me, certainly, and obviously it's an inspiration to other people on Shea Loss, and everyone has it. You got a lot to offer, so go be the light that you are. As far as your fitness goals are concerned, just find a balance. Don't deny yourself the things that you enjoy, and if you really want to say, I don't want to have any more Snickers bars, then you need to go find something that can replace Snickers bars as your go-to that you really, really enjoy. That you can go, okay, I don't want a Snickers bar because I have watermelon, or I don't want a Snickers bar because I've got broccoli. Whatever it is, just find something to replace those other sweet things in your life that you enjoy just as much. Because if you don't enjoy it just as much, you either have to find a balance of when you can eat it, or you deny yourself completely. And what happens when you deny yourself something completely is it's just like drugs in a way. People can be drugs. Drugs are a little bit different of a situation, but food is a drug in a way because there's so many chemicals and what happens is you have to find a way to replace it with something, which is what you need to do with, narcotics. But when it comes to food, you either have to replace it or you have to balance it to where it's not such a big part of your life that it impacts the long-term goals you're trying to achieve. So anyway, I've rambled on enough. I'm like this. A long time ago, a friend of mine said, habla a la mano, which is like talk to the hand. And that's kind of what people are probably thinking right now watching this video. Talk to the hand, Kingsley, talk to the hand, because you talk too much. Alright, I'm out of here. Thanks very much for taking the time to watch any part of this video that you did. You're a light, Toni. Everyone on the Shay Loss group, you're a light. You are an example to the people around you, your family and your friends, whether they seem supportive or not. If they aren't supportive, it's because they look at you and see that you're doing something and maybe taking action that they're not taking. But you stick to it, and I guarantee you, eventually, you're going to be you're going to be a light for them. That they're going to see and go, wow, well, if Brittany can do it, or if Lindsay can do it, or Larry, or anyone else, Toni, then hey, I can give this a shot too. So you are a light. Remember your light, and don't ever let that light fade out of the way you feel about yourself. Okay, take care of yourself. Thanks so much for watching this. If you did, if you didn't, then I'm not talking to you because you're not watching. I look forward to seeing everyone reach new levels of success in their fitness and just in their lives in general. So take care, and I will see you later. I bumped you.